Hello everybody and welcome to All Blaze No Glory the podcast. This week I do a review of the Festiball tournament, which is a softball tournament held in Prestonpans. It is a yearly tournament, previously held at Peffermill, and this is its second year in the Pans. I was there this past weekend, the 27th and 28th of August 2022, with my team, the Leith Walks, but I thought I'd use the time that I spent there and had free to discuss matters with not only my own team as to why they like softball, but also a couple of members of other teams as well. I hope you enjoy this insight into softball. First up, I spoke to Claire McManus, one of my teammates, and she told me why she likes softball and how she thought the tournament was going.
So I'm at Festiball and I'm joined by Leith Walks teammate Claire McManus. Claire, why do you play softball?
It's a fun sport, it's competitive, but good laugh. No one takes it too seriously most of the time, and all my teammates are good crack.
Thank you. And what got you into softball?
I really wanted to play a team sport, having not really played anything since high school, so about 10-15 years ago, just kind of browsing Gumtree as you do, and saw an advert that was calling for a fun competitive sport that nobody takes really seriously, and it's good fun.
Cool. And if anyone's wondering what all that tune was in the background, I think the Vandals just hit a home run, so well done to them. So Claire, how many Festiballs have you been to, and why is it such a special event?
I don't know, I've been to 4 to 5, 6, something like a decent amount. Special event, it's the sun very often shines, as it is doing just now. There's just lots of teams that come from all over. It's quite one of the bigger tournaments, so there's lots of different competitions. And yeah, it's just good fun. And then I think in particular at Festiball, at the end you can watch the final, and you just see some really great players in those games. So it's just all round fun event.
Cool. And just lastly, we've had two kind of harrowing defeats to start off today. How many home runs are you going to hit today to get us back on track?
I'm just going to save my one home run for the winning run in one of the next 2 games.
Perfect, thank you very much.
After chatting with Claire, we played another game against a team called the Fockers from Glasgow. And after that, I took the chance to speak to Joe Lehman Ogier, one of my teammates, who was in his first season of softball, to find out why he got involved in the game, how he got involved in the game, and how he was enjoying it.
The third game is down, another harrowing defeat, but I'm joined by Joe Lehman Ogier, and you just started playing softball this year. How did you get involved?
I emailed the admin, asked if there was a team I could join.
Well, that's a simple explanation. But you play quite a few other sports. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, I used to play volleyball. Played down in a league in Guernsey in the Channel Islands, and came up from Guernsey to Edinburgh in March this year. Tried to look into volleyball, a bit pricey. Tried to find something else, and softball was the cheap way in. So.
And is it right you've played a bit of cricket before as well?
A little bit, not loads.
And how do you find it? Is there any transferable skills from the volleyball to the softball?
Hand-eye coordination, probably about it.
And obviously, you said you played a little bit of cricket.
Yeah.
Do you find it difficult sometimes to adjust to having a glove on?
The glove, not so much. The hitting is the issue. I'm used to hitting under, as opposed to the side. Well, that would be difficult, and trying not to get them bouncing and stuff before that as well. So this is your first festival. How have you enjoyed it so far? It's been good. Infamously fell on my ass running for a first base. Sorry, I can't swear. There we go.
Sorry, we can beep that out. Cool. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
My wife Ashley. She'll never hear this, but thanks for letting me come play softball today.
Okay, Ashley. If you are listening, thanks for letting Joe come. Thank you.
Well, if you had a sweep on episode 4 being the first one where someone swore, then well done to you. You've won. I had to beep it out because I didn't want him to be heard as the first person swearing on this. The first person you'll hear swearing on this will be me after Finn Russell or Stuart Hogg's done something ridiculous in a Six Nations game. But moving on, the game that we had just lost that Joe was referring to was against the Fockers, and I managed to catch up with one of their spiritual leaders, Derek Turner, who is also an umpire. Been playing the game for 25 years, so it was really interesting to get a catch up with him and find out how he got into softball and a bit more about his analysis of the game.
So I've managed to catch up with someone from a different team from mine. This is Derek Turner, one of the High Hegians from the Fockers. Derek, tell us a bit about your softball team.
So we're the Fockers. We're based in Glasgow. We have been around for probably a good 15 years now. I am one of the founding members of it, and we're just a really fun bunch of people. We're one of the nice teams in the Glasgow League. Everybody likes us, or we like to think that anyway, but we get on with most folk, so yeah.
Cool. And you said you've been playing 15 years. A lot of people, I think, when they hear softball, they think it's really easy. Explain to them why they're wrong.
It's actually been 25 years. I look like longer than I look. It is a very simple game in its absolute concept. You throw the ball, you hit the ball, you catch the ball, you run. But trying to get all that together and be consistent, difficult. Really difficult. As I say, I've been playing for a long time. Played large number of levels, A-comp, way back when I was younger and fitter. And it's the reason why I like softball is it's a very mental sport. When you are batting, it's you against the other team that's there. And if you don't concentrate and you don't feel right, then you're not going to succeed. When you're fielding, it's all of you against that one person who's batting. So you've got all these kind of different types of sport, different types of thinking and being in a sport that's not the same as, say, football or tennis or badminton, where you're just one or two people against one or two people.
Excellent answer. And I would imagine that in your 10-year time playing softball, you've probably played a few positions. Which one's the hardest and why?
If you are playing against a very good team, there is no easy position to play, because if you are put in right field and a right-handed batter comes up and hits the ball towards you, the ball will move in the air. It's not going to come straight, so you have to play for that. I think the one that takes the most concentration and what is most difficult to do, there's the two of them, is pitcher. Because you have to repeat motion, and if you lose that, you have to be able to recover within game, within the next batter, otherwise you end up walking the whole team. Or shortstop, because everyone puts it off a lot of that shortstop is the best position to play, so there's a lot of effort on you, or a lot of effort you have to put into it and a lot of thought you have to put into it, but it's this consistency more for shortstop than anything else. Outfield's reasonably easy, because once the ball's not hit to you, if you've done your job and thrown it back in, or it is hit to you, you throw it back in, that's it, you're done. You just have to mentally switch off, whereas everyone else in the infield is then thinking of then what next. Catcher's your last line of defence. Again, that's like people say, we'll put all the weak people in right field and in catcher. No. If you're going to stop somebody and they're running in, and you've got a ball that's out to the outfield and they're going all the way around, going past third, it's hit shortstop and they're gunning it home, you need somebody to be able to catch the ball, not worry about the runner coming in, and be able to put that tag on.
Excellent. Very in-depth answers. Thank you so much. Just finally, if anyone's thinking about getting involved in softball, just tell them why they should.
Well, it's fun. You get to play sometimes in the sunshine. It's co-ed, so you get to hang out with all types of people. So it's not like very testosterone fueled. It's a very balanced sport. It's a drinking sport.
Excellent answer. So it's a social sport. So thanks so much for joining me, and it was great. I'm sorry I just grabbed you there. You probably never met me in my life before, but I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Lovely to meet you.
You have never met me in my life before. What an excellent way to sum up that interview. I'm sure you'll all agree. I was pretty tired by this point on the Saturday. It was the Saturday afternoon. I'd been there since 8:30. Anyway, there was plenty of other teams, not just from Scotland, but teams from as far away as London and maybe beyond. I'm not entirely sure. I managed to catch up with one of the London Blitz players, Anna, who was the team captain, and she told me a bit about the softball scene in London.
So I'm joined by Anna from the London Blitz. Anna, how are you enjoying your day?
Oh, it's great. Festiball is one of the best tournaments of the year.
And you say that like you've been here before. How many times have you been before?
I've been 6 times, I think, with different Blitz teams. We're a club that has an A, B, and C grade team, and we come as a mashup to Festiball, sometimes playing comp, sometimes playing intermediate, sometimes playing rec, depending on who the players are.
So what is the softball scene like down in London?
In London, it's a bit cliquey. It's like a small family of about 500 people. We have the London Softball League is 6 divisions of 8 teams each, and then we play a lot of the National Softball League tournaments in Slough at the National Baseball Softball Centre.
Cool. And how did you get into softball?
I've been playing softball since I was 6. I'm from Texas, and I grew up playing fast pitch. Took a 15-year break and found a softball team in London many years after I'd stopped playing, and now play it all the time.
So fast pitch, was that at college or high school or?
It was growing up. So like from age 6, we played all summer tournaments, and we even had fall and winter ball because the weather was warm. So in high school, so through secondary school, I played quite competitively, and then took a break and started again when I was 32.
Cool. And what do you think of Edinburgh, the city, as a place?
Oh, it's a great place to come, especially during the festival. It's like a softball tournament plus. You get to go out with your mates and see shows and interesting things, enjoy the food stalls, so it's quite good.
And I've seen a few of your team are wearing sort of kilts and mini kilts and things, so what does that add to the game?
It adds to the fun. We see it as a sign of respect, but maybe I'm not sure how the Scottish teams do.
So thanks very much for your time. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to on this?
I'd like to give a shout out to my whole crew, the London Blitz team that came with me, and Leslie, obviously, and Liz Graham.
Thank you very much.
As you'll have heard at the end there, Anna gave a very big shout out to Liz and Leslie. They are 2 of the people who organise Festiball and make sure that there's plenty of umpires and all the games run on time, etc. Leslie can be seen running around from field to field, handing out bin bags at the start of the day, checking in on the scores and making sure everything's running on time. It's a great job they do, and we can only thank them for organising a great weekend. The interview with Anna brought us to the end of the Saturday, and the next morning on Sunday I was on the bench for the first game, and a well-known face in Edinburgh softball circles, Billy Anderson, was hanging about, so I caught up with him.
I'm here at the side of our game at the moment, but I'm joined by a well-kent face in softball circles, Billy Anderson. How you doing, Billy?
Doing very well, mate, thank you.
And Billy, you've played softball for quite a while, and I think you've played in every position. How did you get your start in softball?
Started when I was in the army, many years ago, and then when I came back to Scotland, I found out there was a softball league in Edinburgh and joined a team. In fact, joined the team that you're playing with right now, when they were known as the Inglorious Batters. Came away from that and been with the Vandals for the last 8 years.
Okay, what's your favourite thing about softball?
I enjoy the camaraderie of all the teams. I think it's a great atmosphere. I love the fact that it's co-ed, so it's male, female, but every team gets on with each other. There's no animosity, and it's competitive.
Cool. And Festiball as an event, what's your favourite thing about that?
This event here, I think it's well organised. We always play it when hopefully we're going to get really good weather, and we've been blessed with good weather this weekend. And you're only you're playing a game, sitting out a game. Today's a wee bit different with a couple of back-to-back games, but it's very well organised. No too much stress involved because the organisers have organised it perfectly for the teams.
And there's teams from all over the country here. Do you notice different styles within the teams, or is it all pretty much the same?
No, there is different styles, there's different techniques, and it's good to actually wander about when you're not playing. Wander about and look at other teams' techniques, styles, and because you'll learn. You can never stop learning in this game, which is another good thing about it. So yeah, there is a lot of different techniques here, and it's great.
Okay, and so how's the performances been going, and how do you view the rest of the weekend going for the Vandals?
We're doing very well. We won 3 out of 4 yesterday. We've came in this morning and we won our first game. We've got 2 back-to-back games coming up. I think we're sitting top of our recreational table, which is a first for us. But it's going really well.
Cool. And is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Not at all.
Great.
Straight to the point there with Billy at the end. No one to shout out to. However, I can't miss a shout out to Billy himself. He's one of the glue guys in the softball league. Always puts his hand up if available to step in if you're needing a guest for your team. But also has his own country music show on 107 FM, Currently Country with Billy Anderson. Check it out if you are free on a Friday afternoon, 1 till 3. You'll find Billy there. Moving on, we managed to successfully lose that game on Sunday morning. And after that, I managed to catch up with our former captain, who's now moved to Greece, Nicole Bancroft. It was her who basically organised me getting involved in the game of softball, getting me along to my first training session, teaching me how to throw. That might sound pretty trivial, but it's actually pretty difficult to learn to throw a softball, especially because they're quite thick in your hands, no pun intended. Yeah, so I got the chance to catch up with her, find out how she was doing, find out a bit about her softball background.
So I am joined by Leith Walks former captain, Nicole Bancroft. How are you enjoying Festiball this weekend?
Yeah, it's really good. The sun is shining, which is nice, and we're playing pretty well. We've not had all the results that we wanted to have, but a good few couple wins. Yes. I know, it's been good.
A couple of wins exactly, I think is correct. So before you moved to the UK, you've now moved away from the UK, but before you moved to the UK about 10 years ago, you were playing in Australia. What's the softball scene like there?
A lot better than here. No, I mean, softball's a lot more popular in Australia. It's more like we have a lot of American influence, so we have a lot of teams. I started playing when I was 4 or 5. My whole family played. I played up until I left. So, yeah, a lot of teams. You start young, yeah, and you play as people play soccer here, football here. Yeah.
Cool. And you came across to Scotland, as you said, about 10 years ago. How did you get involved with the then Inglorious Batters?
Well, I was looking for something to do, and the Inglorious Batters, I saw that they had an ad on Gumtree. I didn't realise that softball was even a thing in Scotland. It was about 5 years out, or maybe 4 years after I moved. So I just sent an email to Nina, who was our previous captain's wife, and then I was included in the team, and it just took from there.
And how would you describe your style of batting for everyone at home?
Poor. No. I like hitting to shortstop directly at them, or third base. I think shortstop and third base don't get enough play time. So I hit straight to them and get caught out. Sometimes I hit really well. Sometimes I hit into the outfield, but I like to take it easy on the running, so I normally just get to first.
Take it easy on the running. And how many festivals have you been to before, and what's it like sort of not being the organiser this time?
I've been to, I think, 5. I've played all of them except for, since I started softball in the UK, I've played all of them except for the COVID year where there wasn't one. I think it's been 6. This year has been good. It's difficult to organise the team, very difficult. So hats off to Rob for doing that and taking over that responsibility this year. But it's been good to just sort of chill and just get on with the game.
And so you're now in Greece. I think you might have to leave your softball days behind. I understand it from the Greece. What have you got your eye on any other sports?
There's like volleyball and basketball are quite a big thing in Greece. I used to play basketball growing up, so I might have a look at that, but I'm a bit short, so I don't know if I'll be well suited to that anymore. But apart from that, tennis, I play tennis, so we could do that, but it's so hot. And even though I complain about the Scottish weather, it's too hot in Greece.
It's like Goldilocks, you're never just right. Anyway, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to before you let you get on with the rest of your day?
Well, Richard, he's a great player. He's the best third baseman I've ever seen. I used to play third base actually when I was doing fast pitch, and it's scary. So for Richard to come in as a newbie player and just stand there and take anything that gets hit at him is really good. But yeah, apart from that, shout out to Craig for coming back, Andy for coming back, Rob again for organising, giving me a lift. But yeah, no, I think it's been a good tournament. We have a good team.
Excellent. Thanks very much.
No worries, mate.
Thanks to Nicole there for that great review of my third base play. The check is in the post. One of the beauties of Festiball is the fact that you get that mixture of playing with the people you play week in, week out with in the league, and some people that you've maybe not seen in a while. For example, Craig, that was mentioned at the end there by Nicole. Craig moved away from Edinburgh a few years ago, and I've only really met him through Festiball. And he's an excellent player and a great guy, and it's good that he gets a chance to come and play that once a year for a specific weekend, as opposed to the weeknights, which are obviously going to be impossible for him given where he comes from. Talking about people that you play week in, week out with though, I interviewed Rafa. I'm not going to try and pronounce his full name. I had his guidance for the interview, so you'll get it there. Rafa has a slightly different background in softball. He is a fantastic player, good hitter of the ball, a good shortstop and a good third baseman as well as a pitcher, who did bag a couple of important strikeouts over the weekend, which may seem odd and slow pitch, but it does happen.
So, just before our final of the Rec League sort of lower ranks, I'm joined by Rafael Villarroyal. I hope I got that right. Just about the game, we've just had a foul ball run our way. So, Raf, how did you get into softball?
Oh, well, Richie, I've been playing baseball since I was, 4 years old. And then as I got older, I started playing softball back at the university and then in a league in Spain. That was very competitive, so there were teams from Caribbean island, Dominican Republic, Cuba, Puerto Rico. And then I really enjoyed that experience. And then when I came to the UK, I was in Manchester before, didn't know about the team, but then I got excited when I got to know there was a league actually in Edinburgh, so I didn't hesitate to join the league, and I've been playing for a couple of years now, so I'm very much enjoying the experience in this country. So I can tell you, coming from a Latin American country, so there is a really good players in this, so nothing to compare with other teams in different leagues that I've previously played in.
Yeah, and so I think you said you came from a Latin American country. Can you tell us where from and what the softball culture was like there?
Yeah, we have a culture on, this kind of sport, baseball and softball primarily. So I'm from Venezuela originally, I didn't mention that. So we have a culture of playing baseball in a very young age. So I'm actually one of the main inspiration is all these big leaguers that go to play in the US. Okay, so we have also participated in World Cup for softball and baseball as well. So far it's been a great experience.
Yeah, and in terms of the Festiball tournament, this is your second Festiball tournament. How do you find it?
Fantastic. So the weather is amazing this time of the year, so you get to know excellent players from all over the UK and also European countries. One of the facts that I didn't mention before is that this league is particularly special to me because it's actually a mixed league. So this is considered a main sport in Latin America mainly. Okay, of course there are some specifically for women, but it's very, very difficult to find a mixed league, and that's why make this Scottish or perhaps British league very special to me. I'm really enjoying the fact that I get to play with really good female players as well as the main player.
And you mentioned there's a lot of big leaguers from Venezuela and South America. Who's your favourite major league big leaguer from South America?
Well, I've been always inspired by a shortstop named Omar Vizquel, but recently is Miguel Cabrera, and I can guarantee you he's going to be the next Hall of Fame from Venezuela.
That Detroit Tiger?
Detroit Tiger, yeah, he is the best at the moment.
Excellent stuff. And just finally, we're just about to go into the final. By the time this comes out, the final have been played. But what do you think our chances are like?
I think we stand a good chance with this team, either if it's the Blitz or the Ball. So we actually beaten the Blitz once, and I think we have performed really well. We've been consistent on the way how we bat, We went out with fielding, so we just need to keep it up, and we stand high chance to win the final, for sure.
Excellent stuff. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Richie, okay? Thank you very much.
Unfortunately, Raf's optimism was not well placed, and we did manage to lose the final in the final inning. It was a very close fought game, and essentially the London Blitz managed to get a winning hit right at the end with their last out available. However, it was a great day, good time had by all, and I managed to sum things up with Elliot Spaeth, who is a player that I've played with now for a couple of seasons, and I looked forward to hearing what he had to say.
The final is now over. I'm joined by Elliot Spaeth, playing your first game on first base this weekend, and playing excellently and locking it down. How did it feel to play Festiball and play in that position for the first time?
It felt amazing. It was great to just have fun and get so many games in the same weekend, and it looks like I found the position that I can actually play relatively competently, so that's pretty exciting.
And how long have you been playing softball?
I think about 15 to 20 years now, but very on and off, so I don't think I've locked down my skill quite yet.
That's fair enough. And how did you discover softball was the sport for you?
My dad's played, he's American, and so I went along to his games a lot as a kid and just got into it that way. But the thing I really love about it is there's such a friendly atmosphere, and everyone seems to be in it just to help each other improve and be nice to each other.
Now, a lot of people, I think, have got this illusion of softball that it's just a lot of sort of overweight, unfit people playing, but tell them why you need a little bit of fitness around this game.
Oh my goodness, there's a lot of running. It is exhausting, and when you've not been playing for a while, you should see people the day after they've played their first game in the year, because there's a lot of strained muscles.
And would you describe the energy as kind of sometimes explosive, but also mental as well, yeah?
I would say it can definitely be explosive, especially when people are disappointed with what's happened or they don't agree with the call that the umpire has made. But generally it's a pretty chill, friendly atmosphere, I find.
And so what's your plans for next season? What are you going to work on moving into next season?
I think trying to stop overthinking my batting is the thing for me. I think I've been trying to think about it for so long that now I just can't actually swing when I'm in a game situation. So just chilling out a bit is what I need to do.
Okay, and is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
I think I'd like to give a shout out to you, Richard, for your playing, some really great catches, and for having us on this podcast. Cheers.
Thanks very much. I'm blushing now, thank you.
Again, thank you to Elliot. It was great to hear all that positive feedback from me. I'm going to send you a cheque as well. I joke. Seriously, guys, if there's one thing to take away from all the interviews here, is the common theme is fun. I had a great time not only playing at the weekend, but also speaking to various people, getting the chance to interview various people, and talk about softball. It's a great sport, and if you're not, particularly into team sports, this is a chance maybe to try something new. As it was stated by Derek Turner, it's a sport that there's an individual element to it and a team element to it. But the main thing is there's a lot of camaraderie even between the teams. It's not quite a tribal sport like you would find in other sports. So it's perhaps something that if you're not keen on that competitive edge where each team hates each other, it might be a chance to try something with a competitive edge but a lot friendlier in atmosphere. So get in touch with Edinburgh Softball League. I think there's a Glasgow Softball League. If you check on Facebook and Twitter, you'll no doubt find them. Equally, if you pop us a message on our Facebook page, I'm sure we can put you in touch with the right people. Finally, guys, thanks for listening to this. Hopefully you'll listen to some more of these podcasts. The next podcast is myself talking to Doon the Park. This is a Twitter handle who gives regular updates on lower league football in the Lothian and Fife area, and hopefully you'll check that out and enjoy that with us. It's not the usual football chat. It's going to be a little bit about the different leagues, but about how Doon the Park covers so many different things over the course of a weekend, and just generally chit chat about why going to see this lower league stuff is worth it. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Hope you had a great time. Feel free to leave a comment. I'm still not at the stage where I feel comfortable if you're going to leave me a 1-star comment yet, but please leave me a comment. Let me know what you think, or send us a Facebook or a Twitter message. Thank you very much.